Hi everyone, so I just wanted to hop on here and just share my thoughts on some things really. I don't know if you saw my video, my last upload that I did on the Dele Alli interview. Dele Alli, for those of you who don't know, is a footballer who shared that, he had gone through sleeping pill addiction and some of the root causes of that. And one of those root causes was that he was molested as a young boy. After I did that video, I thought, okay, let me see, what others are saying about this. Because for me, watching the interview, I thought it was a really brave thing for him to do as a man, as a male who has gone through this experience. Because as I shared in that video, too often the perceptions that males are supposed to be strong, that they're not supposed to cry, even as boys, they're not supposed to be weak, is wrong. But to my surprise, some of the conversation that was being had around this interview was more a debate about whether he was to be believed or not. Obviously, as I had already said and predicted in that video that I did, that, because a lot of survivors go through the thing when they speak out, people from their background will come out and say they're liars and deny it. His father, his birth father, and some other people came out and denied these allegations, and it became this thing of, should we believe him or should we believe the birth parents? And this is a familiar kind of thing that plays out a lot of the time in victims or survivors' experiences of speaking out in the aftermath of sexual abuse. It becomes this thing of, well, he said, she said. We're used to seeing this in the court system as well. This the perpetrator, the alleged perpetrator's word against the victim's word. And I just think that why can this not be a conversation about somebody who has bravely shared their story and is trying to help others in doing so? Why does it have to always boil down to this? And yes, I know there are people out there that will make up stories about lots of different stuff. But from my knowledge and my experience of, supporting other survivors who have gone through childhood sexual abuse, from my own experience, it takes a lot for somebody to speak up about it in the first place. It is not an easy thing to do. It is something that is quite shameful. It's something that can cause a lot of guilt and blame. The person that's gone through it feels these things. To make up something like that is quite extreme. And I've only ever seen not even probably a handful of cases where it is found not to be true. Most of the time, if somebody speaks out about it, it has been a long process to get to the point of speaking out about it. It's something that has taken years. Dele Alli, is in his late 20s, early 30s, or maybe late 20s. It happened to him when he was 6 years old. It took him a long time to share this. And it does for a lot of survivors. A while ago I shared on another video that it was worked out that it takes a survivor anywhere between 10 to 20 years, even longer, to actually admit they've gone through something like this. So I just wonder why we always have to go on the side of always pitting the survivor against their family, and why not just listen to the experience and how it's affected their lives and how they're trying to rebuild their lives. And, this is something, as I've said again, is to be expected when you do speak out. There's very few that I know who have spoken out and have had support or help from their family or friends or their circle. There is a risk that you'll be blamed and shamed for it. There's a risk you'll be called a liar and rejected by your family. These are very present risks for those of you. I went through it myself, ostracized from my family. It's a very present risk for all of you who may be thinking about speaking out. But I think, like Dele Alli and myself, and for many others, those of us who have spoken out, we recognise that there is something greater at stake than being called liars or being rejected or being humiliated. There is something greater at risk, and that is ourselves being able to be free from the snare, from the trap that going through childhood sexual abuse leaves behind in its wake. Some things are worth that sacrifice. So if I was you, if you're somebody who is thinking about speaking out, I would always encourage you to get support if you can in doing so, and don't be put off by what other people may say or, you know, do in the aftermath of you doing it. It doesn't mean that you're a liar, and it's not something that you should feel bad about. You know, just understand that speaking out, you know, these types of situations are, for the majority of the time, part and parcel of speaking out and reclaiming your voice and reclaiming your freedom in the aftermath of sexual abuse. So that's all I wanted to share in this video. Until the next one, take care.